I just woke up actually 15 minutes ago, believe it or not. Yesterday's workout was very intense. I almost threw up. I'll in the video on YouTube I'll add some pictures. You're gonna see them showing up somewhere and see how tough that stairs are. The funny thing is, I've actually been doing the same workouts for a very long time, but it's still like there's one part of the workout which is mentally challenging, where it's long, yeah, beautiful stairs. That's the only thing I can really say. I only have love to share about those stairs. It's pure joy. And so if you're not working out, please consider working out. It's a very cheap way to get life insurance. Very easy. You just go do your workout, half hour, sweat some really, and then done. Very cheap. So I can definitely recommend that. If this is the first time you're on the channel, hey there, my name is Alexander, and on this channel we are helping medicine students succeed with providing free, and yes, I said free, and I'm going to repeat it again, free tools for working with Notion and Anki, and also, yeah, hopefully we can have more tools in the future, but that's what we're doing primarily now. We're bridging where students take their notes and where they create flashcards to make it easier to go from one place to another. And I'm doing that because I want to help many people with my tools, and it's kind of awesome that we're indirectly saving lives by helping medicine students, so life achievement there. And yeah, so the enough with the rambling. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna code on. We're trying to add cloze support, and I've decided to use a different team on VS Code now because turns out from work a colleague told me a while back that if you have something white or increase the brightness on the screen, you actually get better screen, right? So you can see my face now, which is not always the case with some of the streams. So for those watching now and who can't deal with the white team, I'm sorry guys, but this is the way, this is how we do it now. We're gonna roll with this new team. So let's take a look at what we have from before. And actually, let me set a timer so I don't forget the time, because I actually have to go to work after this. So we only have like, let's say, yeah, let's stream for like 40 minutes or something. 40 minutes is fine, then we'll wrap it up. So, yeah, we have genanki, which is a project, Python project which has support for cloze, and we're going to try to use that. And I did some tests with the media stuff and it works. So the only thing I've added to-do notes all around the code base. So if we look at the first one here, yeah, let's go through the code using to-do notes. So this is just a function which writes out the Anki file, and we need, like the last thing I was testing was the media files. So that's actually important for audio files and images, if students have images. So we've actually written the parsing code for that. So I've also added to-do stubs on the, let me actually check, is my mic on? Yeah, my mic is on. I've had issues before where I've actually forgotten to turn on the mic, so let me double check. Mic test, mic test. Ooh. Yeah, it seems like it's on, so that's good. So we need to pass this in as a variable. Let me just media files. We'll pass that in here, and let's take that and media files. Get all the media files as an argument. I think this function, as far as we're concerned, is implemented, because what it gets the notes as the first arguments. Notes is essentially what Anki uses to generate cards. So it's kind of confusing for normal people, because notes is like, it's what you type in, but it's not the card. Card is actually what you see when you're reviewing. Super confusing. But essentially, notes generate cards, and you create card types, and you enter input which are your notes, and then cards are generated from, or yeah, made. So we have our notes, we have our deck ID here, we have our deck name, media files, so that we build up the deck or initialize it with deck ID and deck name, and then we go through all of the notes and add to the deck. And this is probably just formatting for the file name, and then we initialize a new package which yeah, has the media files in them, and then we write it to a file. And I think this is how it's gonna read the files relatively from there, so that's cool. That works. I've tested it. And this is just so we can actually execute this. Yeah. Let's see. So we actually have to do another change. Let's do that before we move on, because it's actually gonna crash now. So let me show it to you. If we run this now, where am I? Source genanki. Let me try. Yeah, so missing one argument, and that's because we changed up this. And I think we added it at the end. So let's just enter it, media files there. And I think I'm just gonna, for now, let's just call this media files. Oh no, actually, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's assume that the card has this meta information card, and then media, because now we have to get this thing working with our format. Because what I've done to reuse as much code as possible is we're creating the JSON file from the existing structure that's been already parsed. This way we can reuse a lot of the functionality, and I really do not want to test any of the parsing code over again. It's just too much work, really. We don't have time for that. People are gonna get angry if we change it. So and it's, people have exams, like seriously, we have better things to do. We can't deal with crap like that right now. So we're gonna reuse the parsing stage. So that means that the implementation is kind of gonna be a little bit weird, because I'm considering, so the code here is written in Imba, which is a really cool programming language. Let me drop that in the chat if you haven't looked at it yet. You should check it out. It's amazing. It can be a huge productivity boost, and you get a lot of performance by default. There's the link to Imba in the Twitch chat. So where was I? Yeah, so back here. So we're writing it out, and then this way we've already done the parsing stage, right? The parsing, handling YouTube, handling SoundCloud, handling. So of course we need to fix a couple of other things, and yeah. So where's the flip mode? Actually, let me set. Let me do that. Let's see. So we actually also want to expose that. So deck dot flip flip mode is equal to the settings. So this is something that it's passed by the form. So the user can pick. I should actually show this to you, so you can. Let me show it to you. So notion to Anki. Talamai.com. If we go here, you can see here's the card type. So what we're gonna do is, if you look, I think it's showing up in the stream. The card types. The default is basic, front and back, but I think we're gonna change that. I think what we're gonna change it to is the default is gonna be cloze, and then you can pick the other ones. So yeah, let's see what works in practice. But I was considering also to not put it in card types. Maybe we should put it somewhere else. So anyone watching this later, let me know on the Discord, and let me drop the Discord link in the chat. So isn't the bot there? That's kind of weird. Let me check something here. I think maybe I changed my Twitch name or handle yesterday, so there might be some issues with the chat. I see. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not kind of sure what is going on. Let me check. Maybe Streamlabs has some info on that. Streamlabs. Twitch name change. Yeah, I found a tweet which says if you've just done. Ah, okay, I see. I just need to log out and back in. That's it. Log out and then log in. Oh, that. Screw that. Sorry, let's do that later because the issue is that I don't have my two-factor auth stuff here. Yeah, so we still have a half hour, so it would be awesome if we got all of the to-do notes. How many do we have left here? Yeah, error handling, super important. We're gonna deal with that some other time. Let's look. So the card needs a media payload now, and we're gonna fix that. The way we're gonna fix that is we'll make that an array, so it's gonna be media, and actually, you know what? Let me put this close this up for now, and to do const close. Yeah, so we definitely need to handle this case too. We'll assume it's true for now. I don't want to deal with the UI. I only want to deal with the parsing stages. Okay, so let's do it here. And actually we should also do the back too. So maybe we should create a function. Yeah, let's do that. Def handle close deletions. And what do we need for it? We need the input. So we'll put that there. And because we also need to handle this on the back side, not only the front. I'm mostly testing on the front, but yeah, just for completion's sake, and also in the case we're gonna support nested close, we should have it. So we don't need this anymore. Let's make this like mangle, and then we'll pass in the input there. Let's do DOM. I'm just gonna rewrite the variables here so we have sensible names. Blah blah blah, looks good. And here we're gonna take the mangle because it's not on the name, it's just there. Mangle and mangle. And the replace is already logging this, so we don't need that. And then we can finally say, here's the mangle. That's going to return the last, yeah, it's going to add a implicit return keyword there. So that means that we can do this now. If is close, Then we want to take the card.name and then set it to, why doesn't auto-completion work anymore, I wonder. We want to set that to handle, and I'd like setting self-explicit there for now, I think. My opinion on that changes from time to time. So this is gonna handle the cloze deletions if there are any. So we need to do the same thing on the backs. So before we move on, let's actually delete this chunk here and make sure this stuff works. So let's see, there. And we need to run the server for this. So actually, let me find the Notion X, and let's change this to change blah blah blah, and I think it's the yarn dev server. And do I actually have a payload? Oh yeah, sorry, I need to fix a payload. I forgot that. I actually deleted it last time. I had the example payload for this, and what happened was that I put it in the trash. No, in the downloads, and then put it in the trash. I should actually just save this somewhere close, but let me call it cloze support. And if we this time we actually have to use the local version, and let me see if we can. Yeah, let's just upload that one. Close support, bam, convert, and no exceptions. So if we go back here, we should see. Yeah, you can see it overrode what we wrote, and then should have the new fields. So the image count is 0, flip mode is basic, front and back, so that's cool. We'll leave that, we're not going to do anything yet. So nothing broke, that means. Let's look at the double check here. Yeah, and we can see that it did mangle the back. So cool. So what we're gonna do now is, if we go back here, I'm assuming the same works for the back. So let's I'm gonna create a new one for that. So let's see if I can. If you remember, here's our example. We have 2 cloze deletions, but now we need one. Just for the sake of completion, we really should test the parsing parts. Actually, I forgot, I do have the links here in the useful links, so I should start using that. So you can have it in the extra or whatever you want to call it, but for us we're just going to call it the back. It doesn't really matter from a parsing stage. And also with genanki, the arguments are passed in as an array, right? So position 0, 1, 2, it doesn't care about the name. So because the model has already specified what is the order. So what we need to look at is the, was it Canberra or Cranberra or something? Or what was it again? Canberra, yes, Canberra. That's the example. So I need an example of the extra, so let me search it. This is not good. Alright, the default cloze type has a second field called extra, as is shown on the answer side of each card. It can be used for adding some usage notes or extra information. The cloze type is treated specially by unclicking. If you wish to Okay, cool. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna yeah, let's just duplicate one of the other ones. This one is duplicated. I'll just copy the text and then we'll delete this image, and bam, and then I'm gonna see what happens. So what we're gonna do now is so now you can have, and that one is resolved. So you can have a card which has nothing on the extra side, right? Because you're using close deletion. So in many cases you might not need it at all. So that's good. We get that part. That's fine. But there are some other parts we probably need to cover, which so you have tags need to be supported, but I just got an idea with regards to the add card bit. We could change that out in a very straightforward way. Because we really just want to use genanki initially just for the close part, so we don't need to replace everything. So we could actually, let me see if we can exporter. No, I was considering stubbing out fake functions for this, but no, I think what we should do is we are here on the back, and all of the other stuff has been done. Good. So then we can also do the card.back is equal to self.handle close deletions, I think it was, and then card.back. This is going to resolve the last thing we just tried to test now. And forgetting to switch the screen. Let's see. So I'm learning. Twitch Studio is still fairly new to me, so I've been using OBS mostly before. So now we should have close deletions on the back, and it's going to be straightforward to test that. So we just restart the server, and then I'm going to trigger the conversion from the browser here, and it should, let me check here. If we look at no, I think it used the wrong payload now. Let me try to, I actually have to export this again. Call this the final payload. Restart there. Then 1, 2, 3. So we can see in the back case it still says Canberra was founded in Let's look at it. Now that's kind of weird. Let me take a quick look at the payout. I was actually expecting it to work now. Could there be anything wrong here? No, I don't see anything weird. But when we look at the JSON now, it says it still says the code on the backside, which is very weird. So here's the card. It is calling the replace all, which is here. Yeah, we can't spend that much time on it, so let's add it to do node. To do investigate why close deletions are not handled properly on the back. There's extra there, and that should be fine. We have like 13 minutes left. I'm just thinking if we should maybe try to wire this up. So there are some challenges with regard to this. If we look at if we just look at the usage of the exporter. Let's see, parser deck. So if we could fake the parser, then we might be able to save lots of time, because there are certain things we really care about, don't we? Like So let's create a new class here. Custom exporter, and we need to stub out a bunch of methods. So actually let's just throw new error, not implemented yet. This way we can catch all of them. And go through one by one. So rename file. Yeah, and this is where we want to do that. So to do in the close case, use our custom exporter. So we don't really need to, we just need to implement the add media. Let's see. Yeah, so this one is handled properly. We just need to handle this implementation. This is fine. This is also fine. Now we need to handle the add card. So I think this one is actually straightforward because since we already have a JSON structure which we're using, we don't need to deal with this crap. So we can just console log this actually. Console.log add card and just their arguments. And then here's the interesting bits. It's the save one. That's the one that's the most interesting, really. Let me just throw in the exception there. So save the file. Use genanki to create the whatever it's called. I'm having issues saying that out loud. I tried to say it in Norwegian spelling and it's not right. So when we create that file, we just pass it on to Express. So that's essentially what we have to do. And this way we can, if I'm correct in the assumption, then we can save a lot of time. So if self.settings is close, then we want to return a new custom exporter. And I think we'll just pass in the deck and maybe the CSS too. Okay. I'll move that up here. There. Self.settings is closed, new custom exporter, good. Now we can go into our custom exporter. I'm getting kind of thirsty here from the coffee. So, so we need a constructor. And it's going to pass in a deck, so self.deck is equal to deck. We'll make that the prop deck. So, think that's fine. I need to look up something quickly in Node.js documentation. To do use relative path to the exec point current, yeah, CVD. I'll remember this stuff. So the first thing we need is the const relative path. Actually, rel path equals to. For now, we're just gonna make this the new name, but it's gonna change later. Yeah, let's leave that there. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's just gonna be the rel path and then the file. We might need to experiment around with this. So basically, this is gonna overwrite the exporter. It's gonna take the new file, write it out to disk, and this is needed for genanki. Yeah, and it has to be a temporary working directory, and this is the same directory we'll use here. So self.temp there equals to Node has a mkd temp. So here's what I found on the interwebs. Oh, this is auto-completion for issues. Cool. Sorry. I don't think we have. Are we importing? We're importing path, but not OS. Tag.
something up. It's kind of confusing with this whole node type and the callback stuff. Really confusing. I don't want to deal with this random. I want the. Yeah, let's just assume that we're getting this in here. Temp dir, right? It comes in, and then we don't need to deal with this crap. Temp dir rel path is going to be path.join, and we're going to pass in the temp dir and our new name. So that's what we're adding. And I think there's actually something I have to double check. Media files should have the path relative or absolute to each file. Let's use them in notes. Okay, so parsing does the right thing, but I think the media files actually do need the rel path in order to figure out where in the file system stuff is. So we have that. Now we have to make sure that whoever is calling the custom exporter here to do pass in a temporary working directory for the user. So do we have any user settings? Yeah, that one is still valid. That one has been handled, but there's a bug, so we have that. We don't need to do this anymore because yeah, it's kind of handled. We don't need to do this, it's logged anyways. So yeah, I have to wrap up. That's it for today. I'm gonna have some more time tomorrow so we can do the weekly stream. Hopefully we can get in some hours and finally get cloze support shipped, because most of the work is now done. We just need to connect some of the UI, do some testing, and get some feedback on it. I think that's I may add just write the commit message, start stubbing out the custom exporter and genanki. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow.